Colorado is known for its rugged mountains, winding canyons, and breathtaking trails. But hidden among the scenery are roads few dare to travel after dark. From phantom joggers to ghostly children, these 10 alleged haunted locations carry chilling legends and unexplained phenomena. Buckle up.
Number 1. Riverdale Road.
Riverdale Road, just outside Denver, is often called the most haunted road in America. Legend says a madman once burned down his mansion here, trapping his family inside. Now, people report ghostly children, phantom joggers tapping on car windows, even a hidden gate to hell. Visitors describe disembodied voices and shadowy figures that vanish as quickly as they appear. Don't stop the car.
Number 2. Gold Camp Road.
Gold Camp Road, near Colorado Springs, holds a grim story. One of its tunnels allegedly collapsed on a school bus, killing every child inside. Now, explorers report hearing children laughing or screaming in the darkness. Cars left outside the tunnel often return covered in small handprints.
Number 3. The Black Forest.
Some say the Black Forest is cursed. Families living there have documented hundreds of paranormal events. Phantom figures, flickering lights, even ghostly animals. One family installed over 60 motion detectors to try to make sense of it. They never did.
Number 4. Fort Morgan Nature Trails.
Along the South Platte River, locals whisper about the River Witch. Once accused of dark magic, she was reportedly drowned by angry settlers. Now, hikers near Fort Morgan claim to see her watching from the brush. A woman in white, drenched and staring.
Number 5. Ghost Town Hollow.
Deep in Pikes Peak country lies Ghost Town Hollow, once a booming mining camp. Now it's just ruins and silence. Except when visitors report hearing miners calling out, echoing from abandoned shafts. Some have seen full apparitions of 1800s-era men, still carrying lanterns. They never left.
Number 6. Stormy Peak B-17 Crash Site.
In 1943, a B-17 bomber crashed into Stormy Peak, killing all 8 crew members. Today, the wreckage still lies scattered across the hillside. Hikers report a strange stillness, and some say they hear engine rumblings, or even voices, with no plane in sight.
Number 7. The Old Glendale Stagecoach Station.
This forgotten Penrose landmark is haunted by the Gray Lady, believed to be Kathleen Cooper, who died of heartbreak after losing her fiancé. Travelers claim she still waits by the window for a ride that will never come.
Number 8. Helen Hunt Falls.
In North Cheyenne Canyon Park, Helen Hunt Falls is beautiful and deadly. Several visitors have drowned here under mysterious circumstances. Some say they hear whispers in the rush of water. Others feel unseen hands pulling them toward the edge.
Number 9. Alta Ghost Town.
Near Telluride, the ghost town of Alta lies crumbling, but not empty. Campers report strange lights and voices at night, and occasionally, people see men in mining clothes walking between the buildings. When they follow, no one is there.
Number 10. St. Elmo.
St. Elmo is one of Colorado's best-preserved ghost towns, but its residents? Not all have left. Tourists have heard laughter in empty rooms and seen faces in the windows, even when the buildings are locked. Some say the spirits are just keeping watch. Colorado's haunted roads don't just lead through forests or mountains. They take you through time, tragedy, and the unknown. If you plan to visit, bring a flashlight, and maybe don't go alone, because some paths are best traveled in good company.
And speaking of good company,
call in, chat in our live chat stream running during the show, or join us by video. The link is in the chat. We're a friendly group. Share your story, or just listen in from the safety of your own home, if you dare.
The truth is out there, and it begins with you. Welcome to the Cosmic Fold, where we talk high strangeness. Call us at 928-288-2942. That's 928-288-2942. Or join us by video. If you're at a computer, just look for the link in the chat. Buckle up, sit around our virtual campfire, and let's get started.
There he is.
Hey.
It's magic.
1, 2, 3, magic.
You know, before we head off into Colorado, I had a quick question for you, Jose, about one of your stories.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a lot of views on the short. You know, I do little shorts and stuff.
Okay.
And it occurred to me because I was so caught up in the story, I forgot to ask. When you guys lived at that apartment where somebody was shot and there were notes being slipped under the door to move out, did your dad ever figure out who was doing that and why?
No, I remember when we had that discussion when I was a bit older. He would just say that every time the notes would slip in, it was either they weren't home, or if they were, he would rush to the door, open it up, and there was nobody there. But the only explanation to that is that that apartment was maybe 3 doors down from the staircase, so whoever can slip it can easily just run down those stairs. But
So it may
we
have
never
been
knew.
somebody who lived there. Okay. Yeah, because I was kind of like, was it whoever did that before, or it was just kind of like, that was a mystery. Thank you for solving it. Because I was like, you know, because that was kind of a weird element of that whole story too.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I tell you what, this Colorado stuff, putting together the slides. You hooked up there?
I'm good.
Putting together the slides, I was like, man, I want to go to Colorado again and go hiking because there are so many ghost towns there. I know when I've driven around through there before, it's like you just look down a canyon and there's like a ghost town. You know, it's like it would just be endless hiking for me. It would be so much fun to be there. So how you doing, Al?
Pretty good. Taking a weekend, Friday, Saturday, today, and Sunday off. So I'm just relaxing, getting a little radio time, and just generally chilling out.
Deserve a chill out weekend once in a while.
Yeah,
I think all 3 of us here work quite a bit, so it's like, yeah. Well, you ready for a brief Colorado history lesson, Al?
Oh yeah.
All right, you get to do a lot of reading this time.
Well, look, this is the way. No, that's the wrong line. That's the wrong line. I forgot my Mandalorian line. I've lost my credibility. No, okay. 10 fun facts, fun and fascinating facts about Colorado. This is a lighthearted historical overview. First of all, it's called the Centennial State. Colorado became the 38th U.S. state on August 1st, 1876, exactly 100 years after the Declaration of Independence. Fascinating. It's also the home of the 14ers. Now, interesting fact, Colorado boasts 58 mountain peaks over 14,000 feet, more than any other state. You'll find that on the website in the link if you are so interested. A lot, but it's a very, very 14,000 feet is significant. When I was living in Central America, we were at, I think, 5,800 feet, and that's high. You can see both the Atlantic and the Pacific Ocean from the top of the that we lived under. I can't imagine 14,000 feet. That's a lot, man.
Yeah.
I know even here the ski hill is, what is it, like maybe 8,400, 8,500?
Yeah.
And when I have relatives or friends come in from out of state, I usually take them hiking just around here to acclimate to the altitude.
To the height, yeah.
Yeah, oxygen levels and whatnot.
Yeah. So 14,000, that's pretty intense.
It is. This is my favorite part. Over 300 days of sunshine.
Wow.
don't like cold weather. Denver, but I won't go to Florida. Denver enjoys 300 days of sunshine annually, more than San Diego or Miami Beach. So yeah, not a whole lot of rain out there. I know it does get chilly over there.
It does. It surprised me about this. I would have thought it would be Arizona or California.
Yeah, you'd think from the topography, but no, it's still. I love the sun.
I didn't know this either.
The women's suffrage milestone in 1893, Colorado became the first state to grant women the right to vote through a popular referendum. How about that?
Yeah, because for some reason I thought it was Utah, and but so I learned something new today. Or putting these slides. There's a lot here that I didn't know.
It's also a very diverse economy. It's a funny thought popped into my head there a minute. Colorado's economy includes aerospace, manufacturing, bioscience, energy, and green tech. So they've kind of got their hands in several different energy sources and contributions to the sky. Yeah. Great Sand Dunes National Park. It's home to the tallest dunes in North America, some reaching up to 750 feet. See, I didn't know that about Colorado.
Yeah, this one I learned quite a bit about. I didn't know half this stuff.
I thought it was all just green.
Right? Well, to an extent it is. Geological oddities. Dotsera crater and the Slumgullion or Slum. Okay. The Earth flow are just two of Colorado's unique geological sites. That's cool. That crater is actually. I've seen a YouTube video about that. It's pretty cool.
I think a lot of that was because of lava or whatever back in whenever. So this is my favorite.
Oh, yeah. Mesa Verde National Park. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site with ancient cliff dwellings built over 700 years ago.
Even on Navajo land, they have the similar where you see the structures in the stone like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And their altitude there is pretty high where it is on Navajo land. And so you go down this rickety little narrow stair thing to get down, and then there's like a river basin there, and you can see them. They're just breathtaking. Wow. And we were just out of breath, the people that I was with doing this, and the Navajo high schoolers, the girls were training for track. It's like, no wonder they win on everything. They're just running so fast up this high, 9,000 feet just straight up. It was just amazing.
Yeah. Well, no, they have similar ruins around here. Well, actually, not around here, and kind of near Sedona, because I remember hiking with my wife, and we specifically went to one of these ruins, but it was here in Arizona. And you had to take a long hike, and then hike up, and then finally go into the home. But it was beautiful.
Wow.
They are, and you just imagine how they hauled all that rock up and did everything, and but they're, even to this day, they're still cool and comfortable inside. It's like, they knew what they were doing.
Yeah. Well, I guess they knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
Their stuff's still there. Ghost towns galore. Wow. Over 1,500 ghost towns. Colorado is full of mining history and haunting beauty. This is the part I like. the ghost towns.
Yeah. Oh, I would just have a heyday just snooping around through all that. That would just be so much fun.
That sounds like a good day to me, the Four Corners Monument, stand in 4 states at once: Colorado, New Mexico, Arizona, and Utah.
Have any of you guys done that? I've done that.
I've done it, yeah.
It's we all do it just to say we did it.
My exposure to Colorado is the airport closest to Boulder and my sister's apartment.
Oh, wow.
In between.
Isn't the airport from Boulder the one that has all the Illuminati images and.
It's Denver. We've got it on our
Oh,
upcoming
okay.
program.
I know I got off the plane and I got into a car, then I got out of a car and I went to an apartment.
Are you guys game for an experiment? I want to see if I can screen share something here.
Sure, why not?
It might not work, but let's see if it works.
Yeah, you never know if you try. Unless you try.
Okay, can you guys see it?
What are we looking for?
Can you see this? The screen share, does it show?
I don't see.
I guess that does not work.
No.
I wanted to show you this UFO that everybody's been talking about. That's it's on Reddit. And let me see. Let me try it one more time. All right. I don't know why that doesn't share.
Yeah,
I tried that before. It didn't work.
Yeah, I don't see it.
Yeah. So in any event, what it is, it's like this big, like it was. Now I closed the window and I don't remember, but I think it was by Colorado Springs, and it looks like a big red box. Have you seen that, Jose? And
No.
they're all talking about it. It's like really kind of strange looking. That's why I wanted to show that. And I don't believe in stealing people's content, so I didn't download it. But very interesting. And it was in November. And I never, of all the UFO documentaries, ever seen one that looked like that. It was like a cube going around. It's very,
Borg.
very interesting. Yeah, that's what I thought of actually. It's like the Borg. Here they come. And but anyway, that was kind of. Yeah. I guess that doesn't work. So forget that. So here we go to the paranormal highway. There was so much stuff here that I barely even put a dent into all of the stories. There are so many stories out here, it's crazy. So we'll get Al with his wonderful reading voice again.
I got a great face for radio. Ghost stories, yeah. The Stanley Hotel in Estes Park.
Everyone knows this one.
There it is. That's actually a pretty awesome looking building right there.
Yeah.
Haunted by its original owners and the inspiration for The Shining.
Oh, that's it, huh?
Yeah, guests report ghost sightings in rooms 217 and 401, in case a friend asks you.
I've been in there. It's beautiful.
Have you? Wow.
And oh man, I don't remember when we got this. Anyway, a group of us got a petition passed in Arizona to take lottery money and use that money for environmental protection, to get parks and things for kids to play in, swimming pools, all kinds of stuff, because the state was just taking, it was called the Arizona Heritage Fund, and it's still going to this day. So I was invited. There are only like 13 of us that got this thing passed. And it's every year money goes into these really good things that benefit everyone in the state. Because when you think about it, a lottery is like a voluntary tax. The people should enjoy that.
Sure.
So even the hunters, I mean, this was the only petition I've ever heard of. We had the hunters groups. We had the environmentalists, we had the archaeologists, we had the cities, everybody was for this. Mm-hmm. So I was sent to represent Arizona at this environmental leadership conference, and it was in a March, I don't remember what year it was. Well, the day I took off, they had this horrific snowstorm up there, and I had this rental car, and the conference was in Estes Park at a hotel just up the road from the Stanley. And I am scared half to death, because it's like you've got all these narrow roads with rails, and you look down, but there was so much snow coming down from the airport up there that I could not even see the hood of my car. And it's like, and I couldn't see to turn around. It was like, well, I might as well keep on going. And it took what should have been like a maybe 2-hour drive, took me like 8 as I'm going through there. Not a car in sight, nothing. Finally, I didn't even know where I was. And I saw these lights like glowing, the swirling snow, and it was like foggy too. And it was the Stanley Hotel. And that's why I went in there. I'm like, where am I? Because I had no idea. And they were really super nice. And I was just like like maybe 2 blocks away where I was supposed to go. And there were a bunch of cops sitting in there in the lobby, and they said, "Oh, that road's been closed like 6 hours ago." So here I was all by myself driving through a blizzard through there. But I've got fond memories. It didn't seem it just seemed like rich people there. So, oh my God, that was scary, especially in a rental car because they're, it's not like
You don't know it. Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. The ghost of Teller House in Central City. A spectral woman in 19th century garb haunts this historic opera house. She prefers the quiet seats, as one does in an opera house. In December 2023, the historic Teller House in Central City, built in 1872 by lawyer and future U.S. Senator Henry M. Teller, was the site of a paranormal investigation hosted by the Gilpin Historical Society and The Other Side. Attendees experienced unexplained phenomena such as EVPs, mysterious bangs, and EMF spikes, raising questions about the building's haunted past. Though some findings remain under review, the night added a new chapter of intrigue to a hotel already steeped in Gold Rush era history, celebrity visits, and unsolved mysteries.
Yeah, this place is quite the, while I think of it too, I don't know if you saw it, I think you may have missed it on the opening video. There was a street or a road, and I think it was fairly close to this, called the Gold Canyon Road. Maybe it wasn't by this hotel, but it was a lot like your story where there was a school bus that had an accident.
Oh, yeah. That made me think of Jose's story.
Yeah, I put it in.
Yeah.
You'll have to watch it later because
you should.
What happens is that and the bus apparently is still there, and it's pretty well documented in this case. And so all these people go there, and then they park their car outside, and then when they, outside of the tunnel, and when they leave, they've got like little handprints all over the car.
Whoa.
So you'll have to watch that because I kind of put the maps for this stuff. So if you guys ever take a road trip, you might want to check that out and see how similar it is to. And so what made me think about it is like all of these like paranormal highways, a lot of the stories start becoming very similar, like with these hotels, opera houses, what have you. This one's pretty crazy though.
Cheesman Park in Denver, built atop. Okay, anytime something begins with built atop an old cemetery, you know it's going to get very interesting. This urban park is infamous for eerie sensations and sightings of restless spirits. Cheesman Park in Denver was once Prospect Hill Cemetery, established in 1858 and later renamed Denver City Cemetery. By the late 1800s, the neglected graveyard became an eyesore in an upscale neighborhood because who wants all those dead people around you? Leading Congress to approve its conversion into a park in 1890. Families were given 90 days to relocate the remains, and the area officially became Cheesman Park in 1907, named in honor of Walter Cheesman, whose family funded the park's iconic pavilion. Yeah, I wonder... remember the movie Poltergeist?
Yeah.
You didn't move the bodies!
Well, when you dig deep on this, I hadn't seen a documentary about this place years ago. It wasn't even like a ghost hunting kind of thing. It was just the history.
Yeah.
And okay, so these families are given like 90 days to move their family's remains, right? And some were able to do that, but a lot didn't.
Yeah.
And just horror stories about how, these workers would just pull all these and then chop up what's left of the bodies and pack them all in like a little place and throw it in put it in like the poor, what are they, Potter cemeteries for the poor people?
Pottersfield.
Yeah, because, and then if you had 90 days too, it's like, how are you supposed to afford to do all that in 90 days? And I've heard some rumors of things that every once in a while they still find like remains out there. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's true, but I have heard that. But that's crazy. It's a beautiful, beautiful park now.
How about the Brown Palace Hotel, also in Denver? That looks like the a squash version of the Flatiron Building up in New York. The historic Brown Palace Hotel in Denver, known for its atrium-style design and rooftop bee colonies, has a long reputation for unexplained paranormal activity. Guests and staff have reported lights flickering, ghostly figures gliding through hallways, and even calls with only static from the long vacant room 904, once home to the Denver socialite Louise Crawford Hill. The spirit of a ghostly train conductor is also said to haunt the hotel's entrance, vanishing near the site of a former railroad ticket office.
Oh.
This and more can be found on ghostcitytours.com.
It's like every building out there is like haunted.
Speaking of, and also in Denver, the Croak-Patterson Mansion. The Croak-Patterson Campbell House, built in 1891, was abandoned shortly after by its original owner, Thomas B. Croak, due to an overwhelming sense of dread. It later became home to Senator Thomas Patterson, whose ghost is said to haunt the property. Paranormal activity includes unexplained phone calls, typewriter noises, and technical disturbances believed to be Patterson still trying to run his newspaper from beyond the grave. Residents have reported terrifying encounters, including violent poltergeist activity, disturbed children, and the spirits of a grieving mother and tortured infant. During renovations, tools vanished. Completed work was mysteriously undone, and even guard dogs reportedly died under chilling circumstances, cementing the home's reputation as one of Denver's most haunted locations.
You know, if you were a ghost, this is for speculation purposes, wouldn't you rather hang out in a mansion than a graveyard that's been dug up? I mean, I don't quite understand that, and I don't understand why they become, if it's true, that they become violent. You know, any thoughts on that? About what creates that?
This building here was built on top of a cemetery?
No, that was the previous.
That's my next question, because I'm like, if the guy that constructed this building,
sense of dread. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure. Or maybe a massacre happened there and then they just built it on top, because how do you build a new construction and then it's haunted?
Yeah, that's
it could be some kind of.
That's a good question. I don't know.
Or they even say like electric, certain electric stuff. I think we touched on this last time.
Yeah.
Will create feelings of dread and all that kind of stuff. But I just don't get that, why spirits would hang around cemeteries, or why the cemetery thing gets all this activity riled up. I don't really understand that. That's
maybe it's something in the ground.
Could be. I don't know.
Because
it just makes more sense to me. If I had a real nice mansion and had to wander the earth the rest of my eternity, I'd probably go to the mansions.
Or at least, find a beach with a little blue drink with an umbrella in it.
Exactly.
Oh my God. Crescent Mine near Crip Creek, haunted by spirits of miners lost in tragic accidents. Crescent Mine echoes with ghostly lament. You hear a lot about a lot of these stories that center around mines.
Yes.
And wait till we get to Pennsylvania. That's all I got to tell you.
Well, and even this one, I just threw one or two in. I must have found 100 of them.
Yeah.
Just with the mines and the activity that was going on there. And then you get these mining towns too were real rough and kind of dangerous, kind of like Tombstone actually. And all of them have this weird energy kind of associated with them. They were a rough place to be.
Yeah, no doubt.
This one's cool.
Cave of the Winds in Colorado Springs. Home to ghost stories and eerie Native American legends, echoes and apparitions have been reported. The ghost tour booking site says, and I quote, "Unlike any haunted house, this haunted attraction is set in the raw, rugged depths of a real cave. With minimal lighting and a true historic setting, you'll hear chilling folklore and ghostly tales, possibly see live cats, and experience a level of spookiness no man-made haunted house can match." And they have their own.
That the bat thing was pretty funny. It's like, okay.
Yeah, you'll even see bats. Oh, is that? I would think not a feature, but you know, okay, you do you, man. The haunted tunnels of the Moffat line, abandoned railway tunnels haunted by ghostly figures, flickering lights, and old miner whispers. And we're back at the whole tunnel thing: mines, railway tunnels. Rollins Pass, once key route for the Moffat Railroad and originally traversed by Army Captain Jacob P. Bonesteel. That's an awesome name. In 1863. I mean, really, what's your name? Bonesteel. What about it? With over steep, dangerous climbs across the Continental Divide, earning its nickname Hell Hill. Built by David Moffat starting in 1903, the railroad featured 33 small tunnels and served as the main line until the Moffat Tunnel opened in 1929. Though once drivable for tourists, the route was closed to vehicles after rock slides damaged the Needle's Eye Tunnel, although hikers can still explore the area today. So, yeah, the haunted tunnels.
Yep.
Yeah, and you know, there are dozens more haunted places in Colorado. You got the Phantom Hitchhiker of Lookout Mountain, the vanishing spirit summoned for rides on the scenic route, always just out of reach. Fort Garland, a historic military outpost haunted by echoes of soldiers past. Watch for boots marching without men. And
you know what I was thinking, Al, about the boots marching? Remember that one show there were pants walking around? So now
the pants. Yeah.
Maybe one of these days we'll get a torso and then finally a head. Maybe Ichabod Crate's head.
I think that was Arizona, actually.
Yeah.
You got
that was California, I think.
California,
yeah.
In the forest of California,
like a treasure hunt
we need to get those two together.
Exactly.
And find the church. The infamous Hotel Colorado in Glenwood Springs. There's an image of it if you are watching. Once a World War II hospital and presidential retreat, now home to ghostly nurses and spectral guests. Fascinating.
Yeah, that one's probably.
Cool. Yeah, that's a cool little picture there.
It's like some postcard people would go there but I think the postcard was 1901 or something. But for some reason, those old hospitals tend to. Oh, this is a crazy story. I don't know if you've ever heard of this guy.
The creepy Alfred Packer site in Lake City cannot be ignored. Site of the chilling tale of survival and cannibalism. Some say the spirits of victims still linger. In 1874, Alfred Packer led 5 prospectors through Colorado's San Juan Mountains during a brutal winter where deep snow, freezing temperatures, and starvation plagued the group. 6 weeks later, Packer emerged alone, well-fed, and carrying after the mutilated and cannibalized bodies of the missing men were discovered near Julian Pass. I'm pretty sure that's the right way to pronounce that. Packer was eventually convicted of murder and sentenced to 40 years. He claimed self-defense and one death and blamed natural causes for another. He was paroled in 1901, died in 1907. In 1989, forensic experts exhumed the remains and confirmed signs of cannibalism and violence, and the victims were reburied with honor in Lake City, Colorado.
That's another one. I had seen a documentary about it, and there was some speculation that this guy had just basically gone kind of mad out there, with trying to survive, and he himself may have had some kind of head injury or something that made him nuts too.
Yeah.
And I just can't.
I mean, on top of that, if he was...
That'd be an interesting show, right? How far would you go?
I mean, and then on top of all of that, he's eating human meat.
Yeah.
Just wow, reminds me.
And then do you just like Wednesday show? We're in the real deep, heavy stuff right now, and we're talking about consciousness and how I know even myself with the head injury, how your personality changes. And we've got a guy coming on who just had a frontal lobe surgery and part removal, and what kind of change. And so with this guy, as creepy and horrible as what it is, if you're driven to that much of desperation and possibly had an injury yourself, I mean,
that's what I'm saying. How far would you go? Look at Donner Pass.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's kind of odd that there's a meme floating around, and it's highway sign says Donner Pass, and then under it says restaurants ahead.
Oh God.
UFOs and aerial phenomena. We're barely scratching the surface here, peeps.
Yeah, I wish the share screen would have worked so you guys could see that one.
The Watchers of the San Luis Valley. Stay hydrated. 750 degrees in Georgia. The notorious UFO hotspots with frequent sightings are home to the famous UFO watchtower. There's a picture of it if you're watching. According to KDVR News, quote, 4 hours south of Denver lies the San Luis Valley, an area nicknamed the UFO hotspot of America, unquote. Over 23 years, there have been almost 300 documented UFO sightings from visitors in that specific area.
And
wow.
I know, right?
Yeah, that's crazy. And this watchtower thing, the lady that some lady built it, and she's in her 80s now, and she's still seeing UFOs. And they say what's interesting about this one is that a lot of the UFOs you can see during the daytime. So it's like you could go anytime and just see this stuff. And I just didn't have time to put everything together for this show, but there's a whole bunch of government reports about it too. I mean, some of it, people just say stuff or whatever, but some of it appears to be pretty legit that goes on out there. And when we were doing the triangles towards the beginning, this one is considered one of those triangles because of, I guess there's a lot of like cryptid stuff out there, UFOs, it's like the three always converge in their little triangle, and this is one of those areas.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I need to get out to Colorado. Unexplained lights over Spanish Peaks. Described as a sacred site, locals report floating orbs and darting lights that defy explanation and resist capture. Others say they experience a powerful energy whilst in the region. Interesting.
Yeah, more of the native kind of folklore out there.
Yeah, that's pretty cool though.
All right,
Jay and I both thought of both of you. We were driving back from it's all fog now. We were driving from Valdosta to Athens, Georgia, and as soon as we got north of Valdosta, there was and I wish they were here for this. It was the Bigfoot. Or no, it was a Sasquatch travel center or something like that. But it was in the middle of this field, there was just massive, I'm guessing, cutout of Sasquatch. It was like pieces of plywood, that they make it a silhouette out of. But the thing was like, God, 16 feet tall. And I had held a sign, was holding a sign over its head, and it said, Sasquatch Museum or something.
During Christmas, they probably put lights on it, huh?
No, man, that was funny.
Well,
yeah. I didn't
Bigfoot,
know.
of course, is everywhere, including.
Yeah, I'm saying apparently Bigfoot's pretty big down there in the Florida-Georgia line. But in the Rockies, Well, Colorado's forests harbor multiple reports of elusive ape-like creatures. The publication Backbone Adventures writes, quote, "On this particular ride, I was with a friend. He was behind me about 500 yards. As I entered a small meadow opening, something ran in front of me. Riding at a fast pace on difficult terrain, my eyes were only looking 10 or 15 feet out front. When I caught it out of the
bicyclist.
When I caught it out of the top of my peripheral vision, I immediately stopped, killed the bike, and ripped off my goggles. This took all of 5 seconds. I sat there for a good 30 seconds, and there wasn't a sound. Whatever ran across the 100-foot wide meadow was dark, big, tall, and quick. Now, like I said, I've had almost every animal run out in front of me. What freaked me out was whatever this was, it made it to the thick tree line and didn't make a sound. I didn't hear one twig crunch in those woods. There's no way that is possible. This thing was way too big not to be making at least a little noise. There is also no way it could move at the same pace it ran across the meadow in those thick woods." There you go.
That's why I pulled this one. That's kind of unusual that they don't make sounds when they're, because if they're that big and running around, you'd think you'd hear them. Like,
yeah, but you know, you would think. But I've watched several. I really like the Attenborough nature shows, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and we were watching one about the wilds of Africa, Serengeti, and all that. And these big cats move silently through. I don't care where it is. You're on the side of a mountain, in the woods, in a forest, you know, on a field, but you know they get right up to their prey without their prey even knowing they're there. So you know.
I mean that, and then you also got to think, you know, us. If anybody has been hunting before, you know, you go hunting for turkeys, pigs, boars, whatever.
Yeah.
You got to be quiet whenever you're hunting. Now, Bigfoot is out there barefoot. That's his territory, so he knows how to walk through those without being detected, just like any hunter would. Trying to go ahead and hunt a turkey, a mule deer without being detected is just tiptoeing across the brush.
Yeah.
Well, he wasn't tipping. Anyway, it's a new fact about Bigfoots that they run quietly.
Yeah.
Thunderbirds.
The same thing again.
Oh wow, this is cool. Thunderbirds over Colorado. Giant winged beasts described in native lore allegedly soar the skies over the state's mesas. There was a really cheesy, I mean, like B-movie cheesy creature feature that came out a while back called Q, right? And it was about the Quetzalcoatl.
Yeah.
Right, but in this movie, it was the size of like 2 pterodactyls.
Oh God!
Right? You know, that's not really what the Quetzalcoatl is, but I think
it's a tiny bird.
Yeah, it would hide in the rays of the sun and swoop down on you. Now, every time I read something about giant winged beasts, I think it's that B movie. And I think it ruins the experience for me.
It's funny how they have these like all over the place. It's like with Bigfoot and Thunderbirds show up at all of these. And Skinwalker too.
Skinwalkers.
Just make your skin crawl. Never mind walk. Skinwalker stories in southwestern Colorado. These are legends that tell of shape-shifting beings that stalk the night, rarely seen, never forgotten.
Although I don't know how close like southwestern Colorado is to Skinwalker Ranch. Might be in that same area where they're seeing something similar.
No, there's a good distance separating it from Colorado borderline.
Is there?
It's probably like actually no, it's probably like a 2-hour drive, 2-3 hours. So it's not that far off actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Finally, we have a unique one.
Tommyknockers. Wasn't that a Stephen King novel? Tommyknockers.
I think Yeah,
I think
so.
someone Google that. In Idaho Springs, the legend of the Tommyknockers lives on. Dwarf-like spirits said to haunt the mines, either warning of danger, leading miners to gold, or causing cave-ins themselves. Brought over by the Cornish miners in the 1800s, some believe these knockers are actually the ghosts of miners who died underground, especially near places like the Phoenix Gold Mine. Today, the Tommyknocker name is also famously tied to the local brewery and pub, blending paranormal lore with craft beer culture in one of Colorado's quirkiest mining towns. I would money that's a Stephen King thing. I don't know why that's stuck in my head now.
So going back to the Thunderbird, that's one of the stories. Whenever I look up cryptids, I like to see what was the first sighting and all these settlers that were coming over. So there's a lot of diaries from settlers and priests, because they would start doing their missions out here, where they have records of seeing Thunderbirds attack. Even there's one story where in the Rocky Mountains, there was a priest that was traveling with the group, but the group wasn't part of them, so they stayed a few yards back. And he tells a story of he's seeing a giant bird flying down and attacking almost everybody there that was part of that group. Maybe 50, 60 people died that night, and he has it recorded on his diary. Yeah, so it's like, and that same priest actually came down and started missions down here in Arizona. So back then, these Thunderbirds could have existed, and then we just hunted them down. Who knows?
Yeah. It wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah, it wouldn't.
True. That's true. Yeah, I just looked it up too.
Yeah.
I think I read it a long time ago. So
I did. I know I read it. I read a lot of his stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, same here. He's a good writer.
So that Tommyknockers. Mysteries and legends galore.
There we go, Jose.
Oh, the Denver International Airport Conspiracy Theories. No, Denver International Airport, man, is a hotbed for conspiracy theories, linking it to the Illuminati, the New World Order, and secret underground activity. A mural titled Children of the World Dream of Peace is said to depict a dystopian future, fueling fears of a one-world government. The airport's time capsule bears a Masonic symbol and mentions a mysterious New World Airport Commission, which doesn't appear to exist. Underground tunnels have sparked rumors of hidden bunkers, secret military ops, and even aliens or lizard people. DEN, the airport, has leaned into the mystery, hosting Conspiracy Month and using the theories to spark interest while offering humorous or factual explanation. Lizard people, secret bunkers, and apocalyptic art. This airport is a magnet for conspiracy. That is so cool. That is so cool.
Have you guys been there?
No, but the only reason I heard of it was because of my cousin. He said that, they were definitely digging or doing something underground because there was so many explosions when that construction was going around.
Yeah, the underground thing, I think, because I've seen some video, but some of the other stuff, I mean, I flew there specifically to see if any of this was true. It's not. It's a bunch of stuff. Although the underground, I can see that, I mean, a lot of places have underground, whether it's for storage or sewers, or maybe in case there's a war or something hide under. I don't know, but a lot of that other stuff, I saw the mural. It's like, I've seen art just as dark, it just didn't hit me as, but there are a ton of, and then part of it, I think that what leads to this too is like when you fly in, the way those buildings are constructed, it looks almost alien, especially from the sky and coming down. It's, I don't know. I didn't feel like there was anything weird, but I have heard so many conspiracy theories about the Denver airport. It's crazy. So, I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you believe it or not?
I've never been there.
Yeah,
I mean, I've never been there. I've never seen the murals, but I'm like, I'm really curious about all the underground stuff.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was just gonna say the underground tunnels are way more. What's underground is more interesting than what's
yeah.
yeah. And
Show
the
me what I
underground
can't
stuff.
see.
And some people I knew in Denver were saying that when they were building that too, because of the underground, which I think that's true about the underground, about how all of the prairie dogs were like running and trying to get out, because of all the activity, because there's a ton of prairie dogs at their airports. And whatever it was, they were probably just the sound and vibrations or whatever, but that
The
was
vibrations
kind of
of the earth, yeah.
Yeah, all the prairie dogs that were just like leaving in mass as they were doing that. But yeah, I think the underground is there. I think I even saw some, well, take that with a grain of salt, some YouTube videos of those underground areas. But as far as the rest of it, it's just kind of probably good business for the airport. I even think I had a Tommyknocker beer over there. I was like, okay, cool. Now I want to go back and do some hiking to these ghost towns because it's very cool. That's it.
Reality is optional, Deb. Jose. Reality is optional. On the Colorado Paranormal Highway, that is. Join us next Saturday for Connecticut. I got a couple of Connecticut stories.
Oh,
on the Paranormal Highway. Yes.
So that was just a drop in the bucket of all the stories of Colorado.
Wow.
And I think, part of it is just because there were so many of these mining towns, some of it myth, legends, things that you've got the native culture there, and a lot of people ended up, and it just seems like a kind of a creative space when you go into Colorado. It's just got that vibe. Yeah. So I'm sure they make some stories too. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Well, I think there's people out there that make stuff up because for whatever reason, maybe they want attention.
Mm-hmm.
Good for tourism.
But it just occurs to me that if you're going to do something for attention, why that? I mean, good, bad, or indifferent. Why would you do that? You're subjected to a lot of ridicule. So the ones that come out with these stories, or they tell give their testimony, such as it is, I don't think they're lying. They would have no motive to. I guess they get to a point where I don't care what other people think, but let me tell you, this happened. And more people are doing that, even airline pilots, military pilots, helicopter pilots, whatever. And it isn't just a fringe thing anymore,
Right.
By the way, Fringe was a great show. They're not fringe people, like the groups you saw if you're in the movie Contact, in the desert, the
yeah.
They're just some reputable people that have a lot more to lose reputation wise, are coming out and saying, hey, look, this stuff happens. We can't explain it. We don't know what it is, and we don't know what it isn't.
Years ago, when I was much younger, I went on a vision quest with an Apache medicine man. Oh, nice. I went up to Leadville, Colorado. And what you do during that, you don't eat. All I had was like a little pocket knife, and you wander around the woods for 3 days.
Yeah.
And get a vision and all of that. I'll tell you what, the first night of doing that, my senses, everyone was every single sound, you're like freaking out, like what's going to come out and get me out here. I did not experience anything supernatural, although maybe in some ways that is supernatural too, because I don't know too many people who've done that. But I tell you what, after 3 days of wandering around in the woods, I think by the third day, I wasn't as scared over every single, sound and whatever. But I don't think I slept at all doing that. But I don't eat meat, and I detest fish. It's so gross to me. But after that,
eating shellfish.
we were like spearing the fish, and it was like fish never tasted so good.
This is the only food you had out there.
That's right.
Or the next human being next to you.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know how they died. Natural causes.
Yeah, I feel like whenever you do like, especially the hikes, it intensifies all your senses because you're out there, you're not with technology, you're one with nature, and all of a sudden everything, like I said, you'll notice real quick when everything goes quiet because you're just in tune. So imagine if you're doing this for 3 days, no food, pretty much fasting. I am pretty sure. Yeah, you experience something.
Oh yeah.
It deprives your senses of the input that it's normally used to.
Yeah, right.
City sounds. If you live in a suburb, kids playing, sprinklers, whatever. The absence of sound.
I wonder if in this country, and it would not surprise me if there is a giant cyber attack that just shuts everything down. I've
been waiting for it.
Yeah,
I've been waiting.
Had nightmares about it and dreams and whatever. And
I think I got all those radios.
Yeah. Well, you're very
same.
smart to have that ham radio because I was just so many of us are dependent on all these technology, even for work. All of your paperwork goes through that. Your GPS for driving around. If that gets shut down, I just know what it was like for me wandering around like that for 3 days. But I adjusted probably because I grew up in a rural area and that kind of stuff and didn't have that. But can you imagine if you're so dependent on that?
Yeah.
And then everything.
People should learn, just have some basics around, in spite of the plethora, that's a good word, of power tools that I own. I've got a kit that's, I guess you'd call it analog. It's, a drill.
Yep.
Okay, the manual ones,
just manual ones, and you just, you never know. Yeah, we rely on everything, but with an EMP, Nikita don't care.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, I keep water around, canned food and stuff. I'm not like over the top, and I'm under no delusion rather that if someone drops a nuke on Atlanta that I'm even going to survive.
Yeah. Why would you want to?
I'm like 8 miles from the city center,
I recently saw a picture that said that. They're like, I spent 10 years prepping to survive a nuclear a bomb. Too bad I'm in the immediate center of it.
Yeah, it's almost point blank or zero.
Yeah.
So
that's why you run under the Denver airport.
There you go.
It's not like I can get in my truck and drive fast enough away. You're not going to. It's like trying to outrun a pyroclastic cloud. It's coming down that mountain at 600 miles an hour. Wherever you are, you're going to be dead in about 2 seconds.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So true. But I love
seen that scene in Terminator.
It's been so long since I watched it.
Yeah. When the nuke hit and everything just gets obliterated, it's towns and cities wiped out. People, their flesh burns off. It was pretty intense for its time. For a movie that is not a horror movie,
right.
Body horror movie, but what's my favorite kind of movies? I just watched Witchmaster again. Now I got to watch the next 3 sequels.
Cool. Well, that gives you something to do on your relaxing weekend. Well, we've hit our hour. I just love, vibe-wise, I love Colorado. I just love that state. There's just
I'm jealous.
And so Now that I know there's 1,500 ghost towns to go snoop around in, I definitely have to go up there and check it out.
I was gonna tell anybody watching, I'm like, if you guys ever wanted to go to Ghost Town or anything, I think Colorado's a perfect spot. You go. I've been up there twice to pick up horse trailers, and I've gone up the 191 to 134 all the way to Grand Junction, and then gone up to Denver. And there's, I think, one fort that even during the day is just creepy. All the towns you drive through, creepy, especially if you go through night. It's pitch black. It just looks like a ghost town. So I'm like, that's a perfect trip for anyone to take. Yeah.
Sounds like a ride through Appalachia at night.
No, thank you.
I think we need to get everyone together and do a ghost hunt because we don't know what we're doing, really. People are I don't go on the ghost hunt at all.
That'd
we just
be cool.
Experience it, well, that would be really fun.
Yeah.
Well, y'all, I want to thank you both for coming on tonight. This was fun.
Yeah, always is. Always is.
Always.
Yes. So we will see next week is Connecticut, I guess. And you've got some stories, huh, El?
I got a couple, yeah. Mainly I grew up in New York City. And if you grow up in New York City, you're in Connecticut, you're in Newark, you're on Long Island, you're just all over that area, especially if you move stuff, if you're driving around. So, yeah, I got a couple of Connecticut stories. East Hartford was one, and the other one, I can't remember the name. I got to go ask somebody.
I can't wait to hear them. I mean, Jose did such a good job last time with all those stories. It's like, oh, my God, you really experienced a lot.
Yeah, no.
It ain't going to be nearly that interesting.
I'm sure
we're here to leave. Yeah, I'm sure.
Exactly. Well, you guys have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you next Paranormal Highway road trip.
Yeah, man.
Sounds good. Have a good one.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks so much for joining us. We love hearing your stories, so tell your friends so they can join the party. For show notes and our forum of high strangeness, visit cosmicfold.com. Remember, Cosmic Fold airs live on Wednesday and Saturday nights, so be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell to know when we're on air. Thanks again and have a great evening.